Hey everybody, this is Charlie with 4BZ Truth. Thanks for watching, and I just wanted to check in real quick with a video on the sun, the moon, and atmospheric lensing and refraction. Now this is going to be one of my more interesting videos in my opinion. I'm using my 40 times zoom Sony camcorder. It's not a P900 or anything, but I definitely have a pretty good camera. I can zoom in. So basically the sun image that you can see on the screen here is fully zoomed in, and you can see some pretty detailed footage of the sun and the moon. Now as I'm speaking now, I have not gone through all of the footage. I've recorded about 3 hours of the sun and the moon, but I was specifically trying to record times during the day and the night where I could see different times of the positioning of the sun and the moon. Basically, so like when the sun comes up over the horizon, you can see it come over the mountain. I had a little bit of footage of a sunrise the other day, and I also have a little bit of footage of the sun going behind the clouds that are low on the horizon. You can definitely see some refraction, but I will kind of give you an idea of what that looks like as the video continues. So just stay tuned and we'll be right back. Well, thanks again everybody for watching, and I just have a little bit of footage of the sun here that I thought was pretty interesting. Got a bunch of birds flying across the sun as it gets closer to the horizon, getting ready to set. Now the conditions weren't exactly perfect. The sky was kind of cloudy, but I did get some interesting anomalies that came across the sun, as you see here. Basically, I'm doing this video kind of in a response to Red's rhetoric. I was watching this debate with Red's rhetoric, and basically he was challenging this flat earth lady that he was debating, that nobody can prove that the sun changes size in the atmosphere. And I actually didn't know firsthand, so I wanted to check it out myself. So I ended up making this video, and I have about 3 hours of footage, and I wanted to just go through and check everything to make sure that there isn't any unusual anomalies in the sky, which is interesting because as I started to go through the first couple shots that I had of the sun, I started seeing some weird anomalies in the sun, which when I say anomalies, I'm just talking about like that aircraft that was coming across the sun, which to me, I'm guessing it's probably an airplane way off in the distance, but the camera angle is probably about 30 degrees. So I don't know how high that would have projected, but it took about 6 or 7 seconds to go across the sun, which is interesting. So, but with that said, my goal here is to take the different time frames where the sun is in the sky and basically see if the sun changes shape. Well, not shape, but size as it goes across the sky. Now, what I was anticipating is that there would be atmospheric lensing, which would change the shape of or I keep saying shape. change the size of the sun. Now, the way that I could figure that out, which I don't know if is an exact science or not, but when I'm fully zoomed on my camera, it pretty much is as far out as it can go. So each image that you see of the sun or the moon would be fully zoomed out so that the sun and moon would fill the whole camera, or the whole screen basically. And if that's the case, and we could see the sun changing size or the moon changing size, or between the two of them. Now, I have not gone through and tried different types of tests, but this is kind of getting me to start thinking about future tests that I want to do, like do more footage of the moon and the sun coming close to the horizon, because when it's in the atmospheric lensing effect, it's really interesting to me. And each condition may change or have certain variables when it's approaching the horizon. So now I've seen other videos where it shows the sun getting smaller as it goes away, and that, from a flat Earth perspective, that's what you might expect it with the right conditions. But I don't know if those videos are legitimate or not. That's why I'm pretty much making my own videos or my own tests so that I can kind of prove from my perspective one way or the other. Again, this video is not advocating for the flat Earth or advocating for the globe Earth. I'm trying to take a neutral position. But based on an analysis, if the sun or moon gets bigger on the horizon, then that means that this atmospheric lensing is causing the sun to look bigger. Now, to what degree will the size grow bigger? I don't know. Really, the conditions are going to vary. But in this video, it's not going to actually have. The conditions won't allow for the sun or the moon to get smaller. But I can tell you right now that the sun and moon change size. And I would like to try this test throughout the year as well, where if it's very cold conditions, I'm going to go higher up on what we call Table Rock over here in the Boise, Idaho area. Table Rock is probably a good 1,000 feet over the city, and you can get a better view of the sunset at certain times of the day. Or I'm sorry, you'll get a better you get a better view of the sun going down because you're higher up, is what I meant to say. So anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and contrast a few images going forward, and then you can kind of see what the sun and the moon are doing at specific times. All right, so I have some moon pictures, basically starting with the earliest picture, which is this one here. This one basically is about a third of the way up, so not quite to the center of the sky, but I was trying to get it. I woke up at like 2 in the morning and 4 in the morning to record this stuff, so that's how dedicated I am to get an answer on this stuff. But you can see the different the changes in color of the moon as the sun's getting closer to coming up. That's really interesting to me too. So anyways, now what I wanted to point out was this image here, which was the earliest recording of the moon, to this one here is the latest recording of the moon, because this one's getting ready to go behind some trees. I actually over here. Oh. So this right here is the first moon, and then I darkened this a little bit so you can contrast it better. But if you look at the sizes, they're almost lined up perfectly. Now look at the bottom of the moon. It doesn't seem to move. Look at the bottom in that right side picture up top, or upper right corner there. You can see the direction the moon is facing basically shifts about a quarter turn or a third turn or something like that. But really what I'm pointing out here is this, if you look at the bottom portion you don't see anything moving, but if you look at the top, one is significantly, well, not significantly bigger, but it's bigger. So this one that's close to the horizon is actually smaller than the one that was almost overhead. So this one was smaller, this one is bigger, this one is smaller, this one is bigger, smaller, bigger. Now the reason I keep doing that is to point out that even with atmospheric lensing effect, the moon is smaller when it's getting closer to the horizon. And at this point, it was about 6 something in the morning, right before the sun came up. Now, the reason I'm wanting to point that out is I would have expected, with atmospheric lensing, the moon to grow a little bigger, because it is magnified by the atmosphere. But in this case, it's actually smaller. I don't know. What do you think? So, and then the next one I'm moving on to here is we have the sun. This is the early sun, and basically moving along here. You have the sun's a little harder to detect, but if you look at the bottom portion of this sun, to this sun, to this sun, to this sun, yeah, the one closer to the horizon is smaller. The sun is smaller closer to the horizon. Look at the bottom of both suns, and you will see that they line up. But on the top, the lighter color sun is bigger, which means that the one that is earlier in the day, that's like overhead almost, is actually a little bit bigger, which means that the lensing effect is not helping the sun get bigger. It actually is just helping make it look like it's about the same size, but as it descends over the horizon, it actually starts to drop down because of the lensing effect or refraction. Now here is the sun and the moon about the same positions in the sky, just different, ones at night, ones in the day. They're about the same size. The sun almost looks a little bigger, but I guess that makes sense considering during an eclipse the sun is actually a little bit bigger. You can see the light ring around it. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting to me. If you ask, This may not be definitive information, but in regards to, you know, these two images here, I feel like it's pretty definitive. You have the moon and the sun both shrinking as it gets closer to the horizon. I'm going to get some better footage of this later down the road, but I guess that's all I have for now. If you have any questions, please leave your comments or ask your questions in the comment section. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It takes a lot of work to do these videos, and I just wanted to make sure that I had, people who are interested in learning more of what I have to present, that I can keep kind of showing you here down the road. So like and subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you guys here down the road.